Hello, guys.
Hello.
Can you hear us? Say hello. And we'd like to know where everyone's from. It's always nice. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Can you hear us? Say hello. I hear myself. Let me turn it off.
My voice to put myself to sleep at night. Yeah, no. By the way, I wanted to fix this cable for years. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Let's just see if people see us. Yeah, I think so. So, what are we going to talk about today, Stefan? Do you have any idea?
That's a tough question.
Gin?
Gin? No. Yeah.
No, we're actually going to talk about the new features of the 3.1.1, which is an update of the 3.1 that we released shortly. We want to do shorter release cycles and just add stuff for you guys. Basically have less of a waiting period, which means less bugs in the end, I guess. And quicker updates also means like we can throw in new cool stuff easily. Is there anything you want to say before we start in showing the stuff? This won't be so this stream will only be about the new features, I think. We can take requests if anyone has any questions, but I don't think we will do any retouching. We were just thinking more of a overview of the new stuff, because that's good to have, because everyone's gonna ask, and I'm lazy in writing change logs, so I made notes on paper, and I have a screenshot to show instead.
For me, this is a little bit like a presentation of my Christmas presents. I like this.
You've seen it though.
Yeah. A lot of stuff from my wish list is actually in this update. That's why I really am looking forward to this.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to talk about that, or should we keep that a secret?
We keep this as a secret as long as it's not finished.
Okay. Yep. Let's dive in then, guys.
Yes.
I don't
if
see,
you have any
I don't
questions,
see any people. Well, I see a couple of people said hello.
Yes. If you have any questions, any recommendations or anything, just put it in the live chat. We will definitely answer every question as long as it's somehow related to the Retouching Toolkit. And
anything.
Yeah, anything.
Yeah. But if it's not related to Toolkit, we can do it often.
Oh, not again.
4-hour stream. Yeah, no. Let's just get started, because it's pretty exciting. So, why is my
do it?
Why is my screen black? That's the problem.
So this is a black screen.
Done.
Okay.
It was just a safety precaution because of all the secrets. So I made a panel just to remind myself what's new. We can hide it for a second. Oh shit, this is not the... Uh-oh. Need to go back to this for a second. while I update. Talk about something funny.
About something funny. Oh goddamn! Without any preparation. That's funny.
Talk about your teaching module.
I thought that's a secret.
No,
yeah, well,
the group ones.
the group ones. Yes, that's. Damn it.
Talk
Yeah,
about the ones you did.
Yeah, I did created two learning modules that we shared in the Retouching user group on Facebook. So everyone who's seen these, say yes here in the live chat, please. So I have some kind of feedback. We have a pretty good plan for future learning modules, and at some point Connie will join the party and put some good stuff in there as well. So this is going to be very interesting, so I can learn something as well. Looking forward to this. I have some very specific questions.
You already know. Okay.
Right.
Sorry for the hiccup, guys. It's always like that when you're developing stuff with like lots of versions. Now I just reinstalled the latest one, and so here we go. Now you can see it. And let's hide the one that you've already seen. So the new stuff, actually let's do like this. So one of the big new features is that you can have images, and these end up here. So I've previewed a little bit, but let's go over it anyway, since this is all the new stuff. So what you would do in Photoshop, let's close this one, put this in a doc. Doesn't wanna, come on.
That's a new feature. You can drag the panels around.
Yeah. There we go. So basically, what you would do is you create an empty document. So, and you want transparent background. So let's see if we can edit fill. Because let's just do like this. Yeah. So basically, if you want to create a brush or a path, like there's we thought about making scripts to generate all this stuff automatically, but I think you guys know quite a bit what you want, and it's more of like something that we can work on later when we see what we want. So if you want the brush preview or create an icon or something like that, let's do just soft regular brush. And you have to adjust the size because you see the path here. If you want to use a path, you can use a big size as well. But and then what you would do is in the path window, I think everyone can see, is stroke path, and then you have brush, and you just say yes. Oh, it's blue. That's oh, you can have blue if you want. Any colors work, but I want white, so stroke path, and okay. So, and then I can make other layers with other brushes. Let's try something else. Maybe 100% hardness, same brush. I've created, of course, this is very small and maybe not the best example, but I want to show you what you can do. So then this path is no longer useful. You can store paths if you want. So in reality, it's really small. But so what you will do is save as, and you want PNG. So let's just make the title like so, and then you want this one. You're looking at my desktop.
So there is a question, what's the ideal size for this document? I think we have a restriction of 300 by 100 pixel.
Yeah, don't make it too big because it's gonna look ugly in your Photoshop. But the restriction I put is really large. So
you've seen this in the panel. So this is they are not getting resized. I think it's they show the real size.
Yeah, they show
Connie?
the real size. Yeah. Yep. Let's make a PNG called 3 maybe.
So the ideal size for this document is exactly the size that you want in the panel.
Yep.
So to speak.
The height is the most important one since width is dynamic. So on this one, you know, this is how it works. It centers the brushes that you created. So now you drag in the new image element, and then you say custom image. And now we have to find it. But I think I named it. This is one of them at least. Then you remove the text if that's what you want. So you got a really pretty one. And of course, like this was a very bad example. But I think you guys get the idea. Like you can see the ones I created here, they are much prettier. But the thing is you can create the path and bigger size and stuff like that. But so like if you have smaller ones, what I wanted to show is that you can have text this if you want to have like for the bigger ones, like you could say that this one is 20 pixels or whatever. So it's quite nice to have the text. What you would do then is you create a little bit of space at the top because it's otherwise the image. But I think you get the idea. You can. So if I try to put in a really big PNG, this is the size that it needs to. It won't accept too big ones.
300 by 200 is the maximum. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just using the same one now. Bad example. I should have prepared this, I guess, but I've been really busy today. I think you guys get the idea anyway. So you can create all these custom buttons, and then of course you do whatever you want with them. So if you want a certain, like, because this was a particular brush, you can find it here, or if it's a tool preset, you find it here, and just link it. Yes.
So as soon as we can have these images dynamic, I can eventually get my Minesweeper in the toolkit.
What do you mean dynamic?
Yeah, so an action can actually change the image in the panel.
Never happened.
Damn it.
Yeah. Really so bad example. I'm sorry about this one, but you can see how I did it in this one. It's much cleaner.
This is actually pretty cool because again, you cannot just do.
You can do any image.
Yeah. You can also have it just like a colored button or like
Let's do a big one.
whatever you want. If you have clipboards or if you have your watermark or whatever, you can
And
just
now
put it
we-
on a button that
Right.
has a graphic, and it's treated like a button. So it actually is a button.
It is a button, yeah. So it aligns with buttons and stuff like that. So pretty cool. Let's use and then just make a dot like so. And of course I misaligned it. But you guys know this stuff. And just save as PNG. Save. And this image is gonna be bigger. Why are you laughing?
Because the people are saying it's awesome, and I think they are right.
Yeah. And if you want it pink, we can do that. I know Stefan likes pink.
I like pink.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
So I think I'm very excited actually to see what the people are doing with this. We've seen one really good example,
yeah,
and
someone actually
already
put in T-shirts, like people of with T-shirts of different sizes. So for e-commerce or whatever, so you could actually click it and then it sets up that particular design for the T-shirt. It was pretty cool.
yeah.
But basically, you can put whatever you want here, and the only thing the width is gonna, like, if you do like this, then the width matters, but otherwise it's just centered. So the height is the important one. So if you want to mix on the same row, like you've seen a bit done here, if I put in this big one here, it's gonna look ugly. So what you need to do is just if you want several on the same line, make sure they are the same height, and then you so like this one will.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Um.
I'm sorry.
So the cool thing is, not only do we now allow images, and we can actually save this to show it in Photoshop. Pretty cool. So as you can see, pretty cool. And put it in a group. Add another. Oh, right. Any questions on the custom images?
There is a question, even the thumbnail of pick on retouching. I don't understand this, but
No, you can't grab dynamic stuff from directly from Photoshop. This is the PNG is saved in the layout. So you have to prepare it in advance. It's not going to be a thumbnail of your current image. That's a different feature.
yeah.
We actually have more people watching on YouTube than we had on Facebook.
Yes, because it's full HD.
Yeah.
I think
maybe I
the only reason.
Maybe I shouldn't even use this double-sized stuff that I can barely work with. Next time we'll use the. Okay. Yeah. Back to the thing. Images is of course a really big new thing here, and all you do is you drag in an image and then you browse.
Yeah.
There's no, like, you can't color these or anything because that would mess up the transparency and all that stuff. So it's just images. But you can have them with like a background if you really wanted to. I would suggest, if you want to follow a nice layout, especially for brushes, that you use transparency. And the way you do that is just like I did here now. I messed up the first time, but what you do is when you create the document, you select background contents transparent. It's the easiest way. And when you save it, don't use save for web because that PNG engine is outdated. Just use save as and then PNG. It will automatically create a good alpha mask that works on any color. So it's much better. Yes.
Brilliant.
It's pretty cool. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's it about custom images, I guess.
And obviously you can have right click and left click on these buttons
You have
as well.
everything
So
on them.
all the functionality that we have, it's just the button is replaced with an image that you can set up for your button.
Yep.
It's also nice if you have a lot of customers that are sitting next to you when you do your retouching or working on images, then you can just put your own logo on the toolkit.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Yeah. Or copy someone else's panel and put their logo.
Yeah, actually, you can even copy someone else's button if you think about it. But obviously,
yeah, don't do that. Or do, but don't tell us.
or tell us, and we keep it a secret. Have a good laugh.
Yes. Okay. Another cool feature now is
that's actually the next feature is one of my wish list features.
Yes, this one comes from Stefan. So close this one and use the other window. What's it? 2.
We are talking about the release date later.
Yeah.
This update.
We're almost finished this. So if you stay to the end, you will get an exact date. So another cool thing that's new, actually, before we talk about the button, is that I noticed that there was a lot of discrepancy, I think is the English word, between sizes, and it just messed up layouts and all that stuff. So what we did is you determine the size right here. So if I want this and save, I actually like this. Yeah. And then you load this layout, it will set the width to the panel, which is pretty cool because especially when you add images and stuff, if you squish them together, it's not gonna look good. Like this panel is now ruined to me. So set, and now you, when you load, it sets the size that you did in the configurator, which is a cool feature. And we can actually jump to let's do this one first. So let's flip on advanced. There are new command types. One is URL. So if you input a URL in the command, like this one, open news, it might not open on the correct screen. No, it didn't. But it opens a web browser with the news. So you can have your favorite links here to our education and our Facebook group and our Twitter and our Instagram. We should make a panel that just has all our so you can just click through them all, and then you know you're always updated on everything that's new.
For each article,
yeah,
own button.
No,
it's like.
But there's also another cool thing. So if you look here, if you define options, there's a window size. And that means that where's Photoshop?
Short information to actually use this, you have to activate the advanced mode in the settings.
Yep, good one. Yeah, to select all this advanced stuff, it's right here, advanced settings. Under so this is the default options. Fun. I flip it on and off because I'm using double size screen size just so I can. This is really distracting. So you just flip it on and off. I have to flip it on and off to access the outline because I run double size and it's just I can't scroll down to it, unfortunately. But yes, so if you activate the advanced mode, you get this command and options. You can do that. A lot of scripts also have options.
Eventually, the beer and kebab URL button. Very good.
Yeah. So what you can do now, actually, I just thought of this, Stefan. You can set up a web trigger on like if this, then that. And then when you click a button, it goes and triggers the recipe on if this, then that. And then you can do all your home automation through the button. That's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so the modal, we're sidetracking as usual.
So that opens a whole new category, actually, because you can order your pizza without leaving Photoshop.
Yeah.
So this is the distracting process of getting food is eventually done.
Yeah, we can make a food panel.
Really
so
cool.
like for for different areas, you can just click the pizza and it's delivered.
Yeah, we will have local panels for every major city.
Or actually, we can open them up. So the next feature, let's not sidetrack too much because people are probably.
There's a question. Do you provide somewhere an explanation on every button in your default panels? Yes, absolutely. There will be.
Soon.
I'm actually working on this. It's a lot of work. Is tenth of videos that explain every single button in the panels.
Yeah.
This is going to be available in English language, and then as soon as I'm completely bored and done with everything, I will also do it in German. So there will be definitely some explanation for everything.
So there's also, if you define the size, so on this button, I click. So, and it's quite big now because double size. So let's go to configurator. It's a little bit of improvised. So you have to say. And
we can't see the size because of me, actually, because I'm actually on the size in the video, on the.
I'll remove you.
Thank you.
You're gone. Yeah, so look here now. Sorry about that. So here's the options. So what I said now is 1000 by 600, which is going to be double on my screen now that I do double, and I just save, and all I do is go back to Photoshop, reload, and now when I click the model, it can bring us back. And now when I click the model, it opens up inside of Photoshop. Pretty cool. Oh, we're live now, Stefan.
It's amazing. You should watch this.
Are you guys up for watching this? Inception. Yeah. So, but
This will go forever.
the thing is, it's mostly for like shorter pop-ups with short information, and we'll explain more later. We also have another one who's called information, which is basically so you don't have to do an action if you just want to alert something, like if someone right clicks or if they press an information button in your panel or whatever, you can just pop up a quick message without having a web page. Just more of a convenient thing, so you don't have to have actions. Yeah.
You could put the live chat on a button on YouTube. I will do this next time.
Live chat button. Oh yeah, yeah, that would be cool. Yeah. Well, there are like tools for this, so I can overlay chat and stuff, but I think it's already pretty cluttered. Okay, so another really, 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 really cool feature that everyone's been asking about forever
is the say hello button. You missed this one.
Is up here. I'm gonna show it soon, but you can see it says enable clone, and I think you guys can guess what that is. If I have a new panel and drag the eye helper, it doesn't remove it. So now I can just duplicate stuff really easy, and even group, so, cool. Or even group with toolbars. Yeah,
that's really good.
I think people will like this one. Yeah,
I like it.
I played with holding down control and all that stuff, but I think this is even simpler. Like you just flip it on and off if you want to copy stuff.
Yeah. So eventually, this is the easiest way to steal all the stuff that you like from the layouts that we
and others
and create your own layouts really fast. And this is really good. There's a question: can we clone whole tabs?
I think so. I actually haven't tried. So
I think I've tried it. That
didn't work. Sorry.
Not yet.
We can. I think it's quite complex because of the structure stuff. So you can't do it right now, but in a future update, I will see if it's possible.
If you think about it, it's actually pretty simple, because if you really want if you really want to have a complete tab cloned, then you just save the layout, import the layout back, and then just drag it over and delete
So the old method, the old method that I explained still works. Like if I want to steal the frequency separation tab here and restore this panel, either so actually let's load and delete. So
but we're looking into this.
Yeah, but you can do whatever you want in here if you're just a little bit clever. So now, as you can see, I've saved a layout that only has 2 panels. If I add another one, that's number 3, right? If I steal now from something else and I press load, it's not going to affect number 3 because in the layout I only have 1 and 2. So if I press load, I have frequency separation. That's a nice trick if you want to steal a whole tab. Or of course you can just export and import, and then you import whatever. If you export panel number 1 as it looks now,
it
doesn't matter, and then I destroy it, and I import and this one, and I say overwrite with same ID back. So
Actually,
there's many ways to do stuff.
The load button is actually pretty good. Haven't thought about this one.
I like this one
Can
myself.
just,
It's easy.
yeah.
But it
Yeah.
depends on that you haven't saved the new panel that you. If I save now and drag stuff here and load, it's gonna be gone because it was in the layout. So, but otherwise, import and export, like there's many possibilities to do stuff. But I think the main cool thing about the new is just buttons, but because usually you design your whole panel and then should be simple enough. Yes.
Works for all elements, so to speak.
Yeah.
For all core elements.
Yeah. Let's clone. There's actually another thing in advanced settings. So this is an advanced setting. It has to do with when you save your layout. So let's bring back this one. You need to be careful when you use it, but it's really useful and I love it myself. So what you need to do is select so in this one, as you can see, I just threw in a ton of buttons. So this is the tallest one. You can't see it. If you go to settings here and say you want to include the panel height as well. So you know the new feature that includes the width. It's by default, but you can also say I want to include the height. But it needs to be a conscious choice because it uses the height that the panel has when you're saving. And this is a restriction of looping through hidden stuff in JavaScript. It's just not working correctly. So you would have to be smart when you use it, and it's an advanced option. But if you're designing a panel, so like if I save this layout now and go back to Photoshop and load this one. So for example, so look now, let's make it and load. You can see it has the correct height. It adds a little bit of margin because of the drag corner thingy bug in Windows. But same for this one. So as you can see, it created it higher because this one is higher. I can't really show it properly because of my small screen now. Did you get the idea? Yes.
So if you have, for example, if you have like 3 panels and you're working on one, you still need to make sure that panel 2, for example, shows the tallest of your tabs.
Yeah.
So or you need to make sure that all tabs have the same height.
Yeah.
Which is the nicest way actually. But then it's really helpful because
I think it helps because I've
really
seen because some layouts break in small size and they look really ugly if they're big. So you define it what size you want when you design it. I think it makes much more sense. So I love this one and it's correct size. And it even works when stuff is stopped. Yes.
That's also cool for these guys who are who want to share their panels or their layouts.
Yeah.
So
they can make sure that the size when users load the layout is good. Awesome. So this one, I don't have an example for it.
I can send one.
No, we're not gonna show that yet. Do you want to?
No, I would send a really nice PNG and send it to you.
I wouldn't
include it.
Yeah, get our YouTube account banned. My laptop just died, so you have to relay the chat for me now, I think, because
Yeah, it's all about the chat. All good.
Hold potentially inappropriate. No. Yeah, I can see it actually. There we go. I open it.
I have a
pop-up. Pop-up. Look, I have a pop-up chat.
Yeah. You can put this URL on a button, then you have it inside of Photoshop. This is cool.
Why do I have to sign in when I'm streaming? I'm not gonna do that.
Because you can actually talk, you don't need to chat. That would be a little bit strange.
I've signed in. Hello. Yes. Sorry for sidetracking. It's Stefan's fault.
As always.
I can even put it instead of Stefan. Look. That's awesome.
Yes, yeah, that's good. Shows me that my iPhone's white balance is a little bit off.
Okay. So anyway, good. We have created. I'm gonna explain what it is, though, Stefan, even if we don't have an example, because it's really cool. You know how we always like to encourage people to create stuff, and we are really open with everything that we do, and we want, like, for example, my programming tutorial that I did the other day. How many other people would have done that? I don't have any secrets. So we're continuing in the same fashion. So, you know, like in the install add-ons here, I have install and I finish installation. We have done the same when you import from file, but you choose now zip. And we'll provide some instructions how to create these files. But basically, you can create a zip file and send it to people. That includes everything that our add-ons can include. We've not taken away anything, so it can include scripts. You can include scripts that installs into Photoshop. It can include actually, let me
actions, brushes.
I might actually
tool presets.
If I
everything and the layout.
Yes,
actually
everything.
multiple layouts.
Yeah. So you can have even more panels, but it's one layout file, and it needs to be called layout. We'll provide instructions for this for the people who are sharing stuff, but I might have something to show. Let me give you. I'll make a separate video about this because it's very special. But basically, think of it like this. When I this exact same routines as I have when I publish my add-ons is applied when you import a zip file, and it will pop up a very big warning message and all that stuff. So you don't install from people that you don't trust and stuff like that, because it can ruin your Photoshop. And if they're really malicious, they can also ruin your computer. So make sure you get it from a good source. Same as the emails. Don't click on melissa.exe.
What's wrong with Melissa? Suddenly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, this is the good thing about this is that when some of you might remember the time when we had the old legacy panel before we had the add-ons, the legacy as an add-on. So that's the usual trouble for installing stuff. You need to install everything separately. You need to install the layout, you need to install brushes, do presets, um, the tool presets, the scripts if needed, and all that stuff. I think it was 4 things plus the layout, 5 files. And with the new add-ons, it's very simple because it's all packed in the structure in a zip file, and then it's just is as easy as installing an add-on. Can just share your zip file. It's also actually pretty cool if you have multiple machines. We have licensing for 3 personal computers. So if you put the zip files into a Dropbox or something, then you have it instantly on all your machines, and you can just, with a simple click, you can just install them. And I think this is really, really, really nice. A nice touch.
Yeah. And you can back up all your actions and everything that you want because some, like the other day we had someone complain that everything stopped working because Adobe did an auto update. So if you create a zip file with your own setup, you can use it for your own computer when Adobe messes it up. So.
If you think about this, is probably the easiest way to create a backup for Photoshop.
Yep.
I mean, you
We
have
don't
to
have
create it
export
manual,
yet,
but the import is the fastest way, I guess.
Yeah.
I have an idea for this. Maybe I take some of our brushes and create a little bit of an artistic panel.
Yeah.
That's really easy to do, so we can actually show it in. Let's say if you, in your next live show, when you show the load zip, then you will get a free layout with a free brush set also from us.
Yeah,
These are cool.
We can do anything.
Yeah, we can do anything. Yes.
Yeah.
And we do.
The open extensions, I'm not exactly sure what I did. I do so much stuff that it was something that oh yeah. I figured it out. I added another button. So you know from before you had extensions path and you can open folder here, but that's more like for browsing to it. Now I also have, so if you want for panels, so for example, if you're tired of seeing all the other ones that you don't use, like, or whatever, you can just click this button and delete them. So if I delete this, I don't like number 9, 7, and 8, 6 maybe. I can delete this and then restart Photoshop, of course. Or actually close Photoshop because it won't even allow me. So, and now when I open Photoshop, I only have 5 panels. I don't recommend that you guys do this though, because if you create a 5th panel, then you don't have it anymore. But if you really want to clean things up, as it's a nice touch, I think, to allow people to, and it's really easy to get them back. All you do is you close Photoshop again and you click on install panels. Yeah,
that's also a good one.
It's a nice touch. I think some people, like, I know Adobe, the engine they run in the background for panels, if you're running a lot of panels, like 20 is the limit or something, and you're running it on a really slow computer, then you might want to limit the amount of extensions that you have and delete everything else that's not toolkit, and then you can just do it here. Just open open the folder and then you delete everything. That's not that like this texture
Yeah,
thing.
basically this is and this is the function you need to delete all the panels that you don't need anymore because you have the toolkit now.
Yeah, I can delete this infinite texture.
Yeah, that's outdated.
It actually is. I have a lazy version. Okay. Good.
Good. So, and as always, if you have any questions, I repeat myself, but it
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
let's answer if anyone has any questions. Otherwise, I think that's all I want to show you for this update. Like I said, I wanted to do shorter updates with that's not so massive as the previous one. It was really a headache and a lot of stress. I want to do shorter ones, and
It's also easier.
yeah, it's much easier, and there's also updates for the workflow one. I actually fixed. So there was oh, that looks nice. I must have messed it up. Let's install it. That's what happens when you test stuff all the time. Go. Let's go. I installed as number 3 because I've messed with it too much. Yeah, but this is the always nice to demo on a development computer because anything can happen. The delete identical pixels has been improved actually. It doesn't use selections anymore. So selections were 8-bit. So for 16-bit images, you might see a slight improvement, even though I don't think it will be noticeable. But what I did is the same as I did with the new Dodge and Burn. If any of you guys remember, I did the difference mode and I boosted it, and I used the solar curve and levels and all that stuff and made sure that the new one really is 100%.
We have a question in the live chat. What about next add-ons?
Yeah. So yes. So the next one is actually I've already showed it. So the next one that we are releasing is the color wheel. I've showed it in the previous ones. And it's gonna be huge. Let's make them smaller. And
it's huge, but you can make them smaller. It's nice.
Yeah, you can make them really big as well. Like, so ignore these texts down here. They won't be in the final version. It will be buttons, and then you can drag in your own buttons and configure this. This is also not the latest version that I have on my machine. It's just the one that I demo because I don't want to show everything until it's done. But you can have really big ones or small ones. You can have so it's also dynamic. So if you do it like this, it's dynamic. But the problem now is that shadows is at the top, and I don't like that. So then you just say you toggle vertical, and you have highlights at the top. So let's use it like this, and
So there's a question: what size is allowed for the image files? So the maximum size in pixels is 300 by 200, and I think there is no limit in file size.
No.
I mean, you haven't not much choice on a PNG 24.
But be responsible, like, because if you include a 8 megabyte or 20 megabyte PNG, then your panels is gonna load slow. So like,
do you think it's possible to create a 20 megabyte PNG that's only 300 by 200 pixels?
yeah, maybe not. But I mean, just be responsible. Like, don't max it out and max quality and all that. You can go crazy. So let's show the next add-on just quickly. I really need to see what image I can show though, because
Yeah, but I think we already have a video about the color wheels. So
yeah, but the question, Stefan, came up, so let me just show it quickly. So
yes,
what it does, it affects the curves, and it does it like at 100%. It does it quite strongly. So is it even on my screen? This is the problem with having.
that's funny. Two Stefans.
Oh,
I like this.
no, I don't. So basically, my main thought for this was to do color corrections, and for color corrections, you want the RGB wheel usually. So if you think this image is too yellow in the highlights, you see the yellow is here, and then you can click a bit of blue. And as you can see in the curves, it does it really intelligently because it doesn't only add blue. This is the higher level of learning how to use curves. So most people know that if you have a blue and you increase it, you get more blue. Why are you laughing?
Because Marcus said that was enable clone. That's the reason why you had two Stefans in your image. Because
I
which
cloned
of
one.
enable clone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Works for all Windows.
But if you can see, if I remove this, and then I go to the green channel, I've taken down the green and I'm taking down the red, and it adds a little bit of blue anyway. Like it adds balance. That's how it works, like curves. So this stuff is very tricky to do manual, and that's especially why I really like this color. So if I want, I can also use it for grading, but then I would use the rib wheel, and I say I want now for grading, don't. You want the 100% when you're gonna mask things in, because curves are so strong. And sure, you can go really low here, but then you don't really see what you're doing. So I prefer to go quite high here and instead have a lower opacity. So if I wanted like warmer highlights, now I got it. If I want a bit of purple midtones, I can do that. Then a blue shadow, maybe really strong. And now I created a grade. And as you can see on the curves, they get quite crazy. And it would take me some time to do this manually. That's all about that. I'm not going to show anymore. It's also like brightness.
Curve is crazy.
Yep. So
yeah, so that's this. We showed the next add-on.
yeah,
I think planned is for June. The color wheels.
what month is it now? May.
May. Yeah. It may be May.
It's gonna be probably early June. Yes. I think that's the plan. I don't have the plan in front of me, and I don't want to pull it up because it's secret.
Yeah. Well, we are actually right now we're still working on some stuff that we see is missing, or it's not missing. It's like we want to have a solid base in terms of the configurator.
Yep.
And so we can actually create a lot more stuff, because I have some plans as well, and I'm gonna do probably a live show on Friday about this.
Yep.
So this is also pretty nice.
Yep.
And for my live show on Friday, we needed to have some of these features.
Yep. We'll see if that happens though. Another thing, actually, I want to show one more thing. Actually, two more things, but this is the first. So, a few people have asked about the new scripts. So the legacy one no longer comes with the old swap player script, because that one created history states and it was really annoying. So I created a new and better one. And it might show up as 3 here if you installed it early, like I did. But it should only be 2 in the latest version. But either way, the one you want is the one that's at the very bottom. And you set a shortcut to it. You go to keyboard shortcuts and menus. And this gets installed if you click yes on the admin stuff, and then okay. And then when you're working with the panel, so if I have a dodge and burn with help, for example, if I swap between these layers, so the previous one was really annoying because, and it was actually one of the main reasons I didn't use it much. It created a history step that said selected layer every time you changed layer. And it was really annoying. But this new one doesn't, and it works with the keyboard shortcut. So this one now I use this one actually, and I retouch, and I think it's pretty cool. And it doesn't add the history steps, and I can do undo, and I take away the whole.
There's a question: is it possible to get all scripts from you to use on personal panel in case? You can absolutely do this because the scripts are all included. So they are in the old ones.
Yeah,
I mean the old ones.
Yeah, but look here. So everything I've designed this panel in this configuration. I've designed the legacy one in this configuration. So you can do the same. Just analyze what it does. And if you go to settings and flip on advanced, you will even see the option stuff and the right click. So the stamp current and below, if we look at what this button does, this is the new toolkit. I can open the old one as well, but I'll show it anyway. You can see that it has a left click command of script.
Actually, you can't because of me.
You're always in the way.
I know.
Okay, so now people can see there's a left click script. When I activated this one, it says retouching workflow, stamp current and below. And if I go to retouching workflow, and here it is, that actually you can even search. So let's stamp, and you but here retouching workflow in the script, stamp current and below, take away filter. So what you would do then is if I want to put it on this one, actually, if I want to put stamp current and below on this one, all I would need to do is do the same and click here, and it links it. And now I save, and this button now has that script. If I want to use the legacy one, so we renamed the old Toolkit 2.0 scripts to legacy. They are in here. So you click on legacy, and then you have all the old stuff here. So if I want the vanishing point or golden, like from the old stuff, there are some masking stuff here that we didn't do yet. So if you want the refine edge or saturation channel script, just click it, and you see it ends up here, and then you save. Good question.
Yes.
All right. Are we almost done?
I think so. A little bit over an hour. We are improving.
Yeah.
Funny.
How about this then?
1 hour and 7 minutes so far. It's good.
Yeah, but can you see the stream?
Huh? I can.
What?
There's one question.
No. There's one more thing.
Yeah, but there's also one more thing. There's one more question.
Ask the question first. Yes.
It's a good one. Is it possible to change the name of our panels? I would prefer to have real names instead of number 1, number 2. Easier to spot the panel I'm looking for on the Windows extensions.
No. The name on the top of the panel I can change, but it makes no sense to change the top of the panel because then you don't know what number is mapped to what under extensions. And what the name is under extensions is hard coded, and Adobe requires you to sign a certificate for that particular file where it's hard coded. So no, I'm sorry, it's just not possible. Adobe hasn't made it possible. I would really like it. You can create like we'll see what happens in the future. I've requested like dynamic panels and stuff like that, but the way it's set up now, it's just not working, unfortunately. So one more thing, Stefan.
One more thing, yes.
Are you ready
There's
for it?
one left.
You know it. You do, right?
I am.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm so ready.
It's available now. I don't have a chat. I need to see what people look.
Yes.
So you can just, it's actually uploaded right now. So just go download it and then you have it. It's released right now.
That's a pretty cool one, actually. I like this.
Yeah. Like now. Yes, it's released right now. Just go get it.
Yeah, and I just changed the version number. There is a video, a question about, is there a video with full retouch? Actually, there is.
Yeah, several. Like
yeah, but there's
in 2 locations actually. So there's one on this YouTube channel and there's one on our page that I did. So
yeah.
Did you like our surprise, guys? Just go download it, have fun. We already tested it. If you find bugs, let us know.
Yeah.
And let's see what you can create.
Yeah, we are really interested in seeing what's going on. So even if you don't want to share it in public, just send a short video or screenshots or something like this. I think for the new functions, the videos make more sense because then we get a sense of what you're coming up, what's your ideas in the new panels, and this is really good for the future development, and yeah, to come up with more ideas, because
yeah, we listen to everything, and we really love you guys for being such a big part of the community. We really hate Facebook for hiding everything that we're trying to do, though. They really want us to pay for everything, and we really can't because we're trying to keep prices down. Like one option would be to double all the prices and then pay half of it to Facebook, and then more people would buy it, I guess. But we don't like this approach. If like we said before, we will use the money that we make to create updates and free education, and we are hoping and that the word of mouth is the strong one on this one, because we know it's a really, really good product, and I'm a pretty humble guy when it comes to like this. I know this is the best that's out there. So like there's nothing that comes close in terms of flexibility and what we're planning. So once we have the add-ons as well, it's really something else. We are really pushing the limits on what's possible within Photoshop, and I've never seen anyone else do that. And we have
yeah, there's quite a gap.
Yeah.
True.
And this is also why I'm so confident. Like the coding video that I released that's on this YouTube channel that everyone knows, I show how I do this. So if you want to do stuff, just go watch it, and then you can create your own really cool script. And we hope you share them with us, and everyone benefits. We're doing this because we love retouching, we love teaching, and we love you guys, and we want the best
Make
tools.
everyone's life easier.
Yeah, and we want images to not look like shit.
Yeah, especially now when Lightroom has this funky slider.
So this is a side trick a little bit, but I love that they added this slider. I think it's the best thing that happened for so long, for one particular reason. And I really like that some of the very weird frequency separation techniques gets a huge spread as well. Because soon people will realize how fucking ugly it looks. It takes time.
Yeah, it's true.
But everyone now with the new Lightroom slider is gonna crank it to the max, and they're gonna put it on the face, and they're gonna think it looks awesome, and they're gonna put it online. And then something happens.
Will see
people start to look at, I'm not so sure on this one. Doesn't it look a little bit fake? And then people start, the wheels start turning, and yeah.
I'm waiting for the first question. Why is my image not sharp when I resize it?
Yeah.
It won't take long. Yeah, it's funny.
It's a bad stop. All right. So I don't think we should drag this on for too long. Do you have anything else?
There's one question and a lot of love sent to us. I really like this.
Yeah.
And one question, I would like to know better your frequency separation. We are going to create videos about everything, and we will definitely explain everything about the frequency separation in this panel. And there is also on this channel a really in-depth frequency separation tutorial that I really recommend you guys to watch. It's a little bit nerdy, sorry, Connie, and it is.
It's very,
but it goes really deep.
I have to give a disclaimer about that. I made it because there was so much misinformation. So the video is not about teaching people about frequency separation, really. It's about proving everyone who teaches the wrong stuff. That's the honest truth. So yes, that video is not very good if you don't know what frequency separation is, but if you want to nerd out, then it's good. But we'll definitely create. So the thing is about the new frequency separation tab, there's so much in it, and everything is situational. So there's not like for frequency separation, when you do it properly and in a professional workflow, it's not about blurring or about smoothing, or, well, it depends. Sometimes it is. If you're working with chrome or shining objects or certain types of leather clothes or whatever, then you can get away with it. But it's not for face, and it's not for like if you want to do higher level of retouching. You can do it for like if you're working at the factory, e-commerce factory that where you need to create 500 images a day, sure, go ahead, filter that shit. No one's gonna see. They're gonna look at the clothes anyway. But we are here to teach real retouching, and the shortcuts, the real shortcuts to retouching is just get good, honestly, because it doesn't take that much practice to get good with dodge and burn if you're doing it correctly. And we'll have episodes for this. What frequency separation do you use for skin? It completely depends on what I'm using it for. Like frequency separation for me is just about splitting frequencies. So, and splitting frequencies does nothing. I would never apply a filter by default, like to a whole thing. So median has the advantage or disadvantage, depending on how you look at it or what you want to achieve. Medium will put the edges on the low layer, which means there are no edges on the high. And what is better? That's situational. That's just don't blur. Don't use mixer brush and just paint over all your skin, and it's gonna look really bad. I
think the frequency separation shouldn't be a fixed part in the fixed step in the workflow.
No, never.
It should be a step in the workflow as soon as it's needed.
Yep.
As soon as you need to work on separate frequencies.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have something like moire going on, or if you have like sometimes for goosebumps, it can be cool. It's not always cool.
Clothes is good.
Yeah.
For goosebumps, I recommend a combination with dust and scratches.
Dust and scratches, yeah.
It does a good job. Okay, guys. I hope you're excited about the new release. We are all about teaching, and if anyone is watching right now who's not in our Facebook group, we have a Facebook group where we share everything. It's called Retouching Toolkit User Group. So just search for it, or Stefan might be typing it. I don't know.
I'm not typing it. I'm looking to copy the link. Not much of a typo, but I think you have to allow me to put that link in, because I think that will be blocked. No, it's not. Awesome.
No, yeah. I said accept everything.
Oh, good. So we share something.
No. All right, guys. We're very excited to see what you create with this, and see you in the group, and see you in the next live. And thank you, Stefan, for joining. It's always awesome when you're here. And
yes, it's funny.
We'll definitely do more, and soon also some live retouching. Maybe we can watch you retouch, and I can comment on it. That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be very funny for you. I need a lot of chin for this. Need to buy Fanta first.
Cheers.
Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.